Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangaistustuvagmsastanubhi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti nः Pusha Vishwavedah Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspati'r Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With a peace invocation, Shanti Path, we pray for the health, alertness, focus of all our instruments, our body, all the limbs of the body, they are all healthy. The mind specifically is available to gain this knowledge, and with this healthy body and mind, we are able to live a life dedicated to the higher, live a life dedicated to spiritual progress and spiritual pursuits. And with that, we pray. So this prayer, the invocation, we have seen that. And after that begins the Upanishad. So this Atharva Vediya Upanishad begins with the lineage, how this knowledge has been passed on and in what way it has reached us. So this beautiful lineage of where it all began. In the beginning, we are chanting this one verse, Sada Shiva Samarambham, starting from the Lord Shiva himself, Shankaracharya Madhyamam. One of the gurus in the lineage is Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, and Asmadacharya Paryantam, the one who taught us this entire parampara, we bow down to Vande Guru Paramparam. Here, this knowledge of the Upanishad, where did it begin? Who gave it to whom? What is this lineage? So that is being told in the very beginning. So there may be a question, why is it
why are you talking about all this lineage and all history? Talk about what the knowledge is. I am interested in the knowledge. The point is, until and unless my mind does not value this knowledge, it will not pay attention to it. To create this value, I need to know where it has come from. To create this value, I need to know who all it has passed through and reached me. So then it becomes something glorious, something great, something that I want to invest my energies, efforts, time in studying, knowing. When somebody comes and gives something to us, we say, okay, we receive it, maybe a sweet. Somebody gives a sweet to us. We receive it, okay. And we'll eat it also. But if somebody says, this is prasad from the temple. Oh, now value of that sweet has increased. Now it doesn't matter what it is. It is coming from the temple. Oh, it is something special. It is prasad from the temple. Sometimes we have, some ornament or some bangle we are wearing. Okay. Oh, this bangle is so old, outdated, out of fashion. Why don't you ask him to make something newer, some new design and all? No. This is my great grandmother's bangle. Now what has happened? It is a simple bangle. But now when it is associated with someone great, the great grandmother, oh, so that the value of that increases. And when such value increases, I also associate with it more reverentially, I pay attention to these things. Otherwise, it is very casual. So here, the lineage is known, where it began, how it started, and who all were there as the links to this knowledge, and finally it reached me. So this is the story of the Upanishad. This knowledge of this Upanishad, how did it begin? So the first mantra, we'll read the mantra first. Please repeat. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jyeshtha Putraya Praha. This first mantra is a kind of a story. A story always begins with what? Once upon a time. So yeah, once upon a time. Which time? When time was also not there. That time. So that time. When time was also not there. So before time began. So that Supreme Consciousness, endowed with His infinite potential, He here is called Brahma. In Sanskrit, some words are very similar. So we should be careful that we don't confuse them with each other. Here, this word in the opening, the first line itself is Brahma. So when it is ending with A, then we have to understand that it is the infinite consciousness endowed with the power, infinite potential called Maya. So together, the creator, the one who has this creative potential, who is the very substratum of this entire universe, that endowed with the ability to create, sustain, destroy, in other words, in the Shastras, he is also called as Ishvara. Ishvara means that supreme consciousness along with the power, infinite power called Maya, which is called Ishvara. And here he only is referred to as Brahma. When we study the Puranas, etc., Brahma is portrayed to be sitting on a lotus and having four faces on all the four sides, having the Vedas in his hand, highly knowledgeable. So that is how Brahma is portrayed as. So there is a form given, there's a lot of symbolism in it. Here, there is no form that is being talked about. It is that consciousness endowed with the creative potential called Brahma. So no need to imagine any form or anything, and if at all we want to imagine, there is no harm in that also, because there is infinite potential. So form is also a potential, it can manifest in a form also. So that Brahma, that Ishvara, Prathamaha, Devanam Prathamaha, he is the first among all the Devatas. Now Devatas also, we know that Devatas are we say that the manifestation of that consciousness endowed with a particular potential. So that's why we say that Pavana Devata, wind god, Surya Devata, sun god, Agni Devata, fire god. So these are all different forms, manifestations of that consciousness only, endowed with a particular power. Here when Brahma, it is said, he is endowed with everything. The total power, he is wielding the total power, which is infinite. The possibilities are infinite. And having that infinite power, he can manifest anything. That is why creator. And he can withdraw also anything, destroyer. And whatever he has created, he can protect also. He is the creator, sustainer, destroyer, everything. All this potential he has. And he is among the Devatas, he is the first. First could be understood as chronologically first, because first he is the one who manifested, and after that all the other forms manifested. Or first in the sense his manifestation is endowed with all the potential, and after that limited potentials also manifested. So Prathamaha means the best, the greatest, highest. So among the Devatas, among all these different self-illumining manifestations, this manifestation happened first, or this manifestation is the greatest, Prathamaha. So when we say he is the first, means he is the best. That also is the meaning. Prathamaha Sambabhuva. Babhuva means he was born. Sambabhuva. So Sambabhuva means actual literal meaning is he was born well. So what do you mean by born well means what? When we look at other beings, the birth, and when we compare it with ourselves, we are the students. So when we compare it with ourselves, our birth is what? It is a product of whatever, it is a result of whatever actions we have performed, whatever choices we have made. Based on that, we are born now. And this birth, we are not designing it. In a way, in the past, we have decided or chosen, but we are not designing it as we are born. We have to be born. And if I say, no, I don't want to be born, no choice. For this jiva, individual, there is no choice. But for the totality, he is born out of his own will. So which form? His choice. So which means he is not born as a product of some past karma. He is not bound. He wields the power of Maya and is born. He is not under the influence of Maya and is born. He wields it. He is the master. So the way he wishes, he can manifest himself. He is manifesting without assistance of anybody else. That is also Sambhabhuva. He doesn't need anybody else's assistance. For example, now if a seed has to manifest as a tree, can the seed manifest as a tree without any assistance? No, the seed has to be sown. So mud is required, earth is required, then there is air required, water required, sunlight required, warmth required. All these things, assistance is required, and then whatever the seed has, the potential in it, it will slowly start manifesting. It has to be protected so that when it is small, it is not eaten away by an animal or it is not destroyed by someone. So it has to protect. So it needs so much of assistance and care, and then suddenly we see, oh, the tree has come. The manifestation happens with so many factors playing a role. Here Sambhabhuva means absolutely independent. No other factor is participating in this. Why? Because there is no other factor other than him. There is one alone without a second. And whatever potential is there, that potential, it can manifest. It is possible, and therefore it is manifesting. So there is nothing else apart from him. So for example, if somebody wants, so someone likes music, let us say, wants to listen to music. Now that person, if that person is not a singer, let us say, so then you have to depend on, ask someone, you sing, no, I want to listen. Or we need some machine, some gadget, something, then where we play some song and say, I want to listen to this song. Okay, so I want to listen to this song and I have to depend on somebody else that, okay, you please sing and I will listen. But if somebody has the potential of singing, the power to sing, then that person need not depend on anybody else. I feel like listening to some song. Okay, I will sing and I will listen. There is no second one required. Why? Because I have the potential. So, if one singing potential is there, I become independent with respect to singing. But if I have all potential, infinite potential, then I become independent totally. I don't need anybody else. Do we have such a freedom in choosing our body? Yes, karma, we have done all that. But while doing that past karma, did we decide that, okay, I am doing this karma so that I get this kind of body? No, I don't even correlate what karma led to my nose being shaped like this. What karma led to my hands being what they are? What karma led to my entire body? I don't know. But in a way, yes, we have chosen. But we have not designed it ourselves the way we want. And that is why so many times we have, when we look into the mirror, we feel that, a little bit, if this was different, if that was different. Especially in teenage, this happens a lot. Hours together we spend in front of the mirror, trying to correct what is already produced. So can't do much. The struggle that we have with the hair, we want to make it sit, and it always stands. And then after some time, now the fashion is now we want to make it stand, and that time it sits. We don't know what to do with this. Hours together we spend. We can't. There is no influence. We don't have that potential. Simple. Whereas here, he has all potential, everything. So this aspect, this is a concept of Vedanta we need to understand. We say, what is Brahman, what is Ishvara, what is Maya? So when we use the word Brahman, because these are all words so close to each other that sometimes it may get confusing. Brahman is the infinite supreme consciousness of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchit Ananda. Without any reference, when independently we are referring to that Satchidananda, we use the word Brahman. Brahman means infinite. Now, when that Brahman, now see, anything, we all have this experience that anything in the universe has potential, has possibilities. We do these activities with Yuva Kendra and Bal Vihar also. That we give one glass, okay, this glass. You sit and list down how many ways you can use this glass. Various uses of this glass. It will start with the conventional use. Okay, you can have water or any other drink and you have it. That much, okay. Well, that is a conventional use. Now think about what all it can be used as. So if you want to draw a circle, it can be used. If you want to use it as a paperweight, it can be used. If you want to ring a bell, it can be used. So many ways we can use. We can just think about it in so many different ways it can be used. So now, when we understand that a small little thing like a glass has so much of potential, and if we start thinking, we will realize that it is going on and on. There seems to be no end to it. We can use the glass for so many things. If we understand that this little glass has such potential, what to talk of the infinite consciousness? How much potential will it have? Something finite and tiny has so much of potential. Then the infinite consciousness, how much of potential it will have? That potential is called as Maya. You call it the power of creation, call it power of sustenance, call it power of destruction. Everything. We cannot just have one of those. Everything. The power of delusion, yes. The power of clearing the clouds of delusion, yes. Power of bondage, yes. The power of liberation, yes. Everything is there. There is nothing impossible. That is Maya. And that infinite potential, now potential, can it stay by itself? Call it power. Can power stay by itself, exist by itself, independent of a locus? If we say power, where is the power? Whose power is it? That question will always come. Let us say there is many people in the hall. We say that all these people can sing. So then we say there is a lot of singing potential in this hall. We make such statements like the lot of singing potential in this hall. And we say, where? I can't see any singing potential. Where is it? It will not be flying in the air. It will be in individuals. So what it means when we say there is lot of singing potential in this hall means that many people here can sing. That's what it means. So which means there is singing potential in me, in someone else. So a locus is required. So this potential, the locus is that infinite consciousness, Brahman. So Brahman totally independent. But that Brahman only, infinite, has infinite potential, which is called Maya, and that needs a locus or a substratum, which is Brahman alone, there is nothing else. Now, can we call the power and the empowered different or same? This concept we are clarifying right in the beginning, because the words are used and we have to understand it correctly. The power and the empowered, or the power and the wielder of power, are they one and the same, or are they different from each other? If we say they are same, which means the power and the locus of the power are not different. So the singing ability and the singer are not different. No, so which means if I have the singing ability, means I am the ability, or I am the one who is endowed with the ability of singing. Now, if I have the ability of singing, means I am not the ability. So then we are different. So is the singing ability and the singer different from each other? We cannot call both of them to be same, and we cannot call both of them to be different from each other also. So these two are not separate, these two are not one and the same. Then we say, no, can there be a combination that it is a little bit separate and little bit different? A little bit one and little bit separate. Can that be said? No. How can there be a combination of separation and oneness together? That is also not possible. So we cannot say this potential and the locus of the potential are one and the same. We cannot say they are different. So Brahman and Maya cannot be called as one and the same, and Brahman and Maya cannot be called as totally different, because Maya cannot exist without the locus Brahman. Ability cannot exist without the individual, but individual is not the ability. So Maya, Shakti or power, supported by the infinite consciousness Brahman. When we refer to Brahman, including the potential Maya, it is about our reference. It is not including Maya per se. Because Maya anyway is there whether we include it or not. When we talk of Brahman, including the potential that it is supporting, then we call that as Ishvara, which here is called as Brahma. Without the reference of Maya, when we refer to the consciousness, we call it as Brahman. I'll repeat. There is infinite consciousness of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss, Sat, Chit, Ananda. This infinite consciousness, without the reference of anything else, by itself, independent of everything, is referred to as Brahman, which means infinite. But this infinite consciousness also has an inherent potential, and that potential is infinite. So what all is possible in Brahman? Infinite possibilities, unending possibilities. There is no limit. And that limitless possibility is called Maya. So Brahman is the substratum and Maya is supported. The locus of Maya is Brahman. So just because it is the locus does not mean Brahman is affected by Maya. Just because it is the locus does not mean Brahman and Maya are one and the same. And just because it is not one and the same doesn't mean they are totally independent of each other also. Then what is the relationship? So it says relationless relationship. It seems to be related, but there is no relation also. There are no two entities, yet both are not one and the same. Singing ability is not the singer, but singing ability is not an independent entity, independent of the singer. So Brahman is not Maya, but Maya cannot exist without Brahman. So both are one, yet not one. And this is what in the Ramcharitmanas Tulsidas ji says that Sita and Rama seem to be different, but yet they are one. And when we call them one, yet they are not absolutely one, they are different. This is talking about this language only, Brahman and Maya. Kahiyat bhinna na bhinna. It is different, yet not different. So, where Brahman is there, its inherent potential will be there. But still it is not one and the same. Like if there is a singer, now when he is not singing, he is maybe traveling somewhere. While he is traveling also the ability to sing is still there in him. So this infinite potential Maya is there in Brahman anytime, anywhere, all the time. Oh, but then which means that there is always creation? No, not necessary. The singer need not keep on singing just because there is ability to sing. Otherwise there will be a problem. I can walk. Walking ability is there. So I have to keep on walking. One young man went to the doctor and said, "Doctor, what have you done? This is not fair. You have done something very bad with my grandmother." This is a very senior doctor. What happened? What happened to your grandmother? You advised her that she should walk 5 kilometers every day. So 5 years back she left home. Still she is not back. We don't know where she has reached 5 kilometers every day. Continuously walking, go on. So there is no end. So if there is a potential, it need not manifest all the time. If I can sing, does not mean I should sing 24 hours. I don't need to. I can choose. When I feel like singing, I'll sing, and when I don't feel like, I'll stop. That does not mean I do not have the singing potential when I do not sing. The potential is always there. So Maya is always supported in Brahman. But whether it manifests as the creation or not, that is not necessary. There is no bondage. Brahman does not have that pressure, oh, I have the potential to create, I have to create. Not necessary. So I have the potential to talk, I should keep on talking. I have the potential to walk, I should keep on walking. That doesn't mean that I have potential to eat. Oh, that is difficult. Keep on eating, but I have potential to stop also. I can stop. So this infinite potential is always there. So when we say without any reference of that potential, it is there, but we are not using it as a reference. Without that reference, when we are referring to it, we are saying Brahman. With the reference of Maya, when we are saying whether creation is there or not, whether it is manifested or not, but the potential is always there, and with the reference of that Maya, when we are referring to that same Brahman, he is called Ishvara. The name is different, that's all. So that is why if we have to understand it in an equation form, Brahman plus Maya is equal to Ishvara. But that does not mean that Ishvara minus Maya is Brahman, so Brahman does not have Maya now anymore. Now Maya has gone somewhere. No, that potential is there, but we are not using it as a reference. Therefore, we are calling it as Brahman. For example, a person with reference to his singing potential is called a singer. But his family members may not address him as a singer. When his child is introducing him to his teacher, the child will not say that meet the singer. He will say meet my father. He will not say meet the singer. But does that mean that father does not have the singing potential? Has. But he need not be called a singer all the time. It is only with reference to the singing potential. But if the same father, when he says, I will do a program for the school children, and then he goes to the stage to sing, now the singing potential is taken into reference, and therefore when he is introduced that time, he will be introduced as a singer. And he'll be said, the father of one of our students is going to sing for us. Welcome this world famous singer. So then when you came yesterday to meet the principal, that time you were not a singer, and now you became the singer. No, it is the one and the same person. But yesterday the child was referring to his relationship, and therefore he introduced him as father. But when people took the reference of his singing potential, they refer to him as singer. It is only the reference point. It does not change the object of reference. So when we say Brahman, is Maya there? Is Maya there when we say Brahman? Maya still is there, but I am not including it. And when I say Ishvara, I am including it. That's the only difference. As such, it is always as it is. There is no change that has happened. So if we understand this, here, the very beginning, the word that is used, Om Brahma. This Brahma is Ishvara. And there are various names used in the scriptures for this Brahma. This particular Ishwar also is used. Some places it is used as Sutratma, some places it is used as Hiranyagarbha. All these different names are used. Now, technically, there may be some differences in the definitions, that's okay. But for our understanding, this is good enough. Where that Brahman, which is always endowed with the potential, infinite potential called Maya, when we refer to that Brahman, including that Maya, we call as Ishvara, here Brahma. And this Ishvara Brahma, now, is there anything else? Now, let us say, a singer has the singing potential, and when he starts singing, he sings the 7 notes in music. Okay. Now, he started one by one, one by one, one by one, and as though he is creating one note after the other, one note after the other, and he sings the 7 notes. Okay, so yes, son. So now each note has its own impact on the listener. has its own value, has its own place in the scheme of music. Everything is there. But before all these notes came into existence, which is nothing but the manifestation of that singing potential, the singer came into existence. Before the notes manifested, the singer has to manifest, only then the notes will manifest. But what is the singer manifestation called? Does that mean that he was born on that day? The day he sang, that was when he was born? No. Does that mean the day he sang, that's when the singing potential was born? No. He was also born, he was existing long back. The singing potential was always with him. So it was also there with him only all the time. This manifestation of the various musical notes happened. Before that, he manifested as a singer means what? Doesn't mean he was created that day. He has always been there. This is just one program of various programs that he has already given. So what does it mean that he manifests first and then the musical notes manifest? What does it mean? It means he becomes consciousness or conscious of his ability. He wields that ability. That's when he becomes the singer and then he sings. So when we say the singer is born, means what? The ability is also there, the person also is there. But he wields his ability, becomes the singer, the identity of the singer, and then clears the throat and sings. So that way the singer is born first before any song can come out. That is why Devanam Prathamaha. So any creation, for it to come out, the creator must manifest first. Now creator must manifest means what this was this creator born on the day of creation? Just before the creation took place? No. The creator has always been there. That infinite consciousness and the infinite potential were always there, but that infinite consciousness wielding this power of creation becomes or comes to be known as a creator, and then he engages in creation. So that manifestation before anything could be created is what is talked about as Devanam Prathamaha. Before anything else, he wielded his power of creation, became the creator. Now we are using the word became, but there is no becoming also here. He is as he was. Even he, we are using that pronoun also, is not, no, he is not a masculine. That Brahman, along with Maya, is always been there. But for any creation to happen, he has to wield his power, become the creator. So the creator is born, and then from there, the whole creation comes out. So Brahma Devanam Prathamaha. First, Sambhabhuva, he manifested. So here the creator is born, like when that father of the child goes on stage and stands behind the mic, the singer is born and immediately the song comes out. So when is the singer born? We cannot say the singer is born simultaneously with the song. The singer has to be born a little before the song comes out. So that is how the creator is born and then the creation happens. And this is, just imagine this concept, this subtle concept is so beautifully presented in the Puranas as Mahavishnu. His blue color. Blue is the color of infinity. We look at the sky. Although it is colorless, it appears blue. Why? Infinite expanse of space, and therefore that is the wavelength that reaches our eye, and that is why it is blue. So blue is a color of infinity. That infinity just lying down, and from the navel of that infinity comes a lotus, and in that lotus is the four-faced Brahma, the all-knowing creator, because creator has to have the complete knowledge of creation. Only then creation is possible. So that creator is born, and then he starts this creation activity. So beautifully put, and this is what in one line has been given here. So the Upanishad, the Puranas, all these are talking about the same truth. It is only the presentation which is different to suit the listeners. For us, when we are told that this is how, the Mahavishnu was lying there, and then this lotus came out, and then there the creator Brahma, he manifested, and then he started this creation. So we understand, okay, understood. Okay, this was the sequence, yes. But this is so subjective in our lives also. First, the person who is performing the action is born, and then the action is born. The speaker is born, after that only the speech comes out. So does that mean the individual or the ability to speak were born on that day when the speech came out? No. They were always there. But the identity, wielding the power of speech, becoming the speaker, was born just before the speech came out. So, Om Brahma Devanam Prathamasambhabhuva. First, he manifested as the creator with all the knowledge that was required. And therefore, who is he? His identity, Vishwasya Karta. What is his identity? The creator of the universe. Oh, so he has the ability to create, and that is why he is the creator of the universe. Yes, he is the creator of the universe, but not just that. Bhuvanasya Gopta. Whatever is created, he has the ability to protect that also. So he is not just the creator, he is also the protector. So the same concept, before the act of protection, the protector is born. Sambhabhuva, Prathamas Sambhabhuva. And he is the creator, the protector. So we understand other potentials are also there. So if he wants to destroy something, he can destroy. It is up to him. So there is infinite potential, and he is the wielder of that infinite potential. So any act he does, it is possible because it is a manifestation of his inherent potential. So there is nothing else required, no other assistance required. He is totally independent. Vishwasya karta, bhuvanasya gopta. But you said Brahma sambhabhuva, you said Brahma is born. And then you are saying suddenly the creator and then sustainer. Yes, that same Brahma only. As the creator, as the sustainer. So associated with the creative potential, he is a creator and he is involved in the activity of creation. Associated with the sustaining potential, he is the sustainer and he is involved with the activity of sustenance. But in essence, who is he? Brahman. So this Brahman, wielding that infinite potential, becomes Brahma, the one who created this universe and also sustains whatever is created, protects whatever is created. So if we understand this concept well, then this confusion of there are so many gods whom to worship, all these confusions will not arise only. We will understand. What are all these gods that we see in different forms and names and all these things? There are different, wielding their potential, a particular form. I say, okay, it is just one of those possibilities which in that form is getting manifested. That's all. It is that one consciousness alone which is in all these forms. Vishwasya karta, bhuvanasya gopta. Acha. Now this infinite consciousness wielding the power of creation, etc., becomes the creator, protector, etc. He is manifested first before anything else can come into existence. This all we understand. This primordial being, the first one to get manifested, that Ishvara, that Brahma here, he has all the knowledge. And when we say all the knowledge of the self is the primary. So what is, initially there was only one, right? Then became conscious of the power, the potential, wielding that potential, became the creator. Second step, still there's only one, but it's only the creator, name has come. Firstborn, so to speak. And from there, the entire creation has come about. Now, when we talk of knowledge, what knowledge are we talking about? Initially, there was nothing else other than himself. So, what knowledge will be there? Self-knowledge. Then, slowly, the creation happens. That potential is there and that is manifesting as creation. Then, slowly, there are other fields of knowledge that come into existence. Come into existence does not mean knowledge is created, but there is a field of which there is knowledge. So anything that comes about, oh, now we have the earth. Okay, now knowledge of the earth. Now we have human beings, knowledge of human beings. Now we have devatas in the heaven, knowledge of heaven, knowledge of devatas. So as creation happens, knowledge, the fields of knowledge come about. But initially when there was no other except Brahman, then what knowledge are we talking about? That is a primary knowledge. And that is why here it is said, Saha Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Brahma Vidya. So that is why these two words Gurudev also has mentioned in his commentary, that we have to be clear. First line Brahma, third line Brahma Vidya. So here Brahma Vidya means we are talking about Brahman. So Gurudev has explained, when this Brahma word is used in the masculine gender in Sanskrit, then it is referring to this Ishvara, the one endowed with the infinite potential. And when it is used in the neuter gender, which we are calling it as Brahman, then we refer to as, without any reference of Maya, etc., just Satchidananda Brahman. So that distinction has to be clear, because both these words are appearing in the very first mantra. So to remember, to help us remember, when we say Brahman, na is there, neuter, neuter gender. So it is neutral, means no power is taken into consideration. Power is there, but we are not taking it into consideration. So therefore, Brahman. And when we say Brahma, that is the creator. Creation also you have to open your mouth. To create any sound, you have to open your mouth. These are tricks to remember, that's all, nothing else. So, here Brahma Vidya means the knowledge of Brahman. Now we have to understand, when Brahma is imparting the knowledge of Brahman, then what is this knowledge called? It is called self-knowledge. You have to say Brahma is imparting the knowledge of Brahman, so that Brahman is not somebody else. This Brahma only is Brahman. With reference to that potential, we give him the name Brahma. Without that reference, we give him the name Brahman. So when he says Brahma Vidya, means the knowledge of one's own self. The answer to the question, who am I, is Brahma Vidya. So it is not some Brahman is there and I have to know that Brahman. Sometimes we have this notion that, oh, Brahma Vidya, oh, there is one Brahman and I have to know. In this lifetime only I must know, they say. So I should spend my time in knowing that Brahman. Otherwise that Brahman will feel very bad that these people are not knowing me only. So I should, that is me. So this Brahma Vidya is Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. Means it is the very foundation of all fields of knowledge. Everything else can be known, but the foundation is knowing oneself. Without knowing myself, I may know the whole universe. It doesn't really matter much. Because I don't know myself only, what is the point? So that is why Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. And in this whole process or chronological order, if we have to imagine this way, then the Sarva Vidya Pratishtha means initially there was only self, only Brahman. So that is the only knowledge. Then as manifestation of this potential happened, we started knowing other things because there were things to know. But actually speaking, there's only one. So, Brahma, Saha Brahma, Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. This foundation of all knowledge, which is called as Brahma Vidya, which is called as self-knowledge, he, Saha, Praha. Praha means he imparted it. He discoursed upon it. He instructed. Oh, he imparted to whom? Atharvaya. To Atharva. Oh, so that Ishvara gave this knowledge to Atharva. Yes. Okay. Who is this Atharva, by the way? I have not heard of him. You know who is Atharva? Yes. Who is he? He is introduced here only. Who is? Jyeshtha Putraya Atharvaya Praha. Jyeshtha Putra. Jyeshtha Putra means eldest son. Oh, eldest son. So he had many sons. Yes. Who is Ishvara? Now I am confused. Ishvara is single only, no? Married or single? He is alone, right? Son, and that two sons, because Jyeshta Putra means there must be other Kanishta Putras also. So what is this? I am not able to understand what this is. So if at all we have to conceive of this idea of marriage, we can say Brahman married with Maya. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense, that is good. If at all you not need to bring in two, these are the two. And that is what is, presented in all the Puranas, Itihasas as two. Shiva, Shakti. Vishnu, Lakshmi. Ram, Sita. So this is the power. This is that infinite potential. It is a Shakti. So okay, Jyeshta Putraya Atharvaya Praha. He gave it to this Jyeshta Putra Atharva, the eldest son. No, eldest son can be understood, Jyeshta Putra can be understood as the first created. He gave this self-knowledge to the one whom he created first. And usually the first creation is the best creation. Now we have watched movies which have sequels. Sequels are not at all good compared to the original. The first one is the best. After that, okay. It only dragging the same idea little bit more. But that original at first. So that is Jyeshtha Putra, first created. We are all copies only. First creation. Another meaning of Jyeshtha Putra means Jyeshtha means also best. So among all that he created, the best, most deserving, whoever it was. And who it was? Here the Upanishad says Atharva. So this Atharva was the one who was most deserving, and therefore he was given this knowledge. So Jyeshtha Putra can mean the eldest born or the best one. So he imparted this knowledge, Brahma Vidya, to his firstborn or his best son. Okay. Now, this second half of this mantra, we will think more about it tomorrow. I request everyone, please do go through the commentary of Puja Gurudev's. So, no, not tomorrow, we will meet now on Monday. Oh, so we have a weekend to study. Okay, so please go through the commentary, please read through right from the introduction till the first mantra explanation. Very beautifully, we will get a lot of clarity by reading Gurudev's commentary. So whatever we are speaking, it is whatever he has taught only. And Gurudev, he has followed Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharyaji's lineage. So that also is in conformity. So we are in conformity with the entire lineage. So it is not a new philosophy that is being found. So if we read through this commentary, it is very lucid, very practical. We'll be able to relate to it, we'll be able to understand and get the concepts clear. And then we'll take up little more thinking on this mantra and move forward on Monday. Om Purnamada पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।